Welcome back everyone, this is Mondo All Day, back to another video, and in this video, I'll be doing an overview of the Scarecrow from the Batman the Animated Series. This is going to be the Target exclusive Batman Animated Series Wave, and as you can see, this is a Platinum Edition, and so I figured, you know what, before I dive right into this whole entire new series or figures, I figured, you know what, let me get one, and luckily I found this one, open it, and give you my honest opinion, and of course, answer or more of like, am I going to continue with this line or not? As always, I'll be talking about the figure itself in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint, and if it's worth your purchase or not. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at the box. So we'll start off with the front of the box, this side, the back of the box. And you need to get Batman, Robin, and Freeze to, of course, build Condiment King. The other side, top, and bottom. Alright, now let's take a look at the figure outside the box. This particular wave does include cards, so this is what the card looks like for Scarecrow. The back of the card. I'll put the card back here. You guys can see that. It does come with accessories. It does come with, I believe it's called a Sith. Correct me if I'm wrong if I'm pronouncing it correctly or not, but it does come with this. And of course, it does have that shadowing on there that looks like it's kind of like not gloss, like a shine to it. And it is a bit flimsy, so probably going to warp. Alright. Pretty clean looking. It does come with two extra hands. Well, yeah, two extra hands or a pair of hands. They just open like crawl hands type of thing. Here, I'll show you guys better like this. Not much to it in terms of the actual hands itself. Pretty simple. It does come with additional headpiece. It does come with Scarecrow with him being unmasked, which looks pretty cool. Pretty good detail actually on the mask itself. The face paint, the design, the hairstyle. Again, very, very animated from the Batman Animated Series because, well, that's where this inspiration of this figure is from. It's going to be from the Batman Animated Series. So, to me, it looks pretty darn good. I mean, the painted eyes, the face. It does looks like I have like a shadowing type of thing here on the nose. Let me know if you guys have this figure, if yours has it or not. But a little bit of the eye shadowing on there. And the eyes as well painted. It's pretty cool looking and I like it. And it does come with a piece for Condiment King. It does come with the upper body. And I gotta say, for Condiment King, he looks pretty darn cool, man. Nice, shiny, not shiny, but it has like a look to it, like it's shiny eyes. The glasses, the eyebrows, the really pointed nose, which is kind of funny. Of course, his little Condiment King sign. And then here we have the upper torso, which is, again, weirdly looking, but it looks cool. And, of course, it has, like, effect of, like, it's going to be a shadow. So, which we'll talk about in a bit. Same thing here on the side of his face. Which, yeah, some people have made their point across regarding the shadowing. But, anyway, so, here we have Condiment King, the torso. And that's pretty much it. It does not come with any stand or anything, which I wish it did. I'm using a regular one. But I wish it did because it does have a hole in it. For one, it doesn't come with one, and even when I use a regular one, it doesn't really fit very well. I have to really push it in, so yeah, it's all good though. Now let's talk about the figure itself. We'll start off with the articulation. So, head articulation, front, back. It's a little loose. If you guys have this figure, let me know, because mine is, as you can see, very, very loose. But side, left, right, again, up, down. Shoulder articulation. There is no bicep, but there is elbow. And of course, elbow as well. Bent. It does have wrist articulation. No torso, but there is swivel. Not a whole lot, but there's something. Leg articulation. Not a whole lot, very limited. Knees. And no toes. I come from, obviously, DC Multiverse, so I'm so used to, like, torso, the elbows, and so forth, so having this one limited, it's kind of like, it's kind of sucks, but there is a plus to it, which I'll talk about in a bit, why, even though certain parts doesn't have articulation, it actually looks pretty darn cool. But anyway, so now let's talk about the figure itself. And right away, this headpiece, it looks really, really cool. This is the platinum one, so it's a little bit different than the regular one, which I'll have an image to the right so you can see the regular one. But this is a platinum one, of course, so it's going to be a little different. But anyway, so it's going to be the same design in terms of the actual sculpture. So the headpiece here, I think it looks really cool. You got that teeth on there, then you got that black mouth, which looks really, really good, very creepy looking. Especially with the eyes, because those eyes just look evil and menacing. Just look at that. Come on, you gotta admit, that is a pretty cool looking eyes. And the great thing about it is actually you can feel the detail of it. That's what I like about this particular figure, is that it's not just painted face. It's actually, you can feel it. You can feel like inside the mouth. Same thing with the eyes. I actually like that. It gives it extra look to it. It actually looks more defined. Same thing with the hair. The hair, you could have just painted it to look like this, like French fries, but it's actually textured so you can actually feel it. And again, when you have a light on it and you look at it in person, you can really see it, and it really pops even more. So little details like that I do like about this headpiece. Then you have the hat on there. Not much to it in terms of the design. Plain brown with a little bit of like mustard yellow type of thing. Then you have here the arms. And something that I want to talk about here are the arms. In terms of the actual arm itself, I know it's plain looking, but I will say the material they use, it's different than your DC Multiverse. DC Multiverse have a different feel to it. This one, you can, I don't know how to explain it, but it definitely feels, I want to say cheaper, but it just feels different. But I will say, though, it doesn't have the pins on it here. And when I compare it to the other Scarecrow figure, you'll see what I'm referring to, but the pins is not present. I actually like that because it looks cleaner, it just looks much better without having the pins. So I don't know if this costs more, but I prefer something like this compared to the pins, but it's all good though. But in terms of the arm, there's not much to it. It's a very thin figure. You got here, looks like it's some kind of cuffling on there. Then you have here the wrist on this side for Scarecrow. But in terms of the actual design on the arm, there's not much to it. I do like the stitching on here. I like that very subtle stitching, which is cool. And it's black. I like how it's, you know, a little bit of brown and then a little bit of black on the stitching, which is pretty cool. And the other side, it's going to be the same kind of design on the arm, but you do have like the trigger hand on this side. And of course the paint on this arm is going to have that shadowing paint. Then you have the upper body, which is the regular shirt, I guess you could say, for Scarecrow. Because, I mean, this is from the DC animated series, and so he doesn't really have a lot of design. So McFarlane did the best he could to give him some kind of style look to it. And I actually like it. But the big thing that people don't like is going to be the whole shadowing right there. And in a way, I do like McFarlane doing what he's doing with home in terms of the shadowing. It's bringing the Batman animated series episodes or characters to life because you got that shadowing. It's hard to explain. I'll have an image somewhere you can see what I'm referring to, but in a way I kind of like the shadowing, but at the same time I don't, because I prefer it to be regular. But if it was regular without the shadowing, it will look just plain. Like if this didn't have this brown underneath the neck, it would just look all plain mustard, and people would be like, this is kind of plain looking. So in a way, it kind of helps the figure because, well, the figure itself is pretty plain looking, so having that whole shadowing type of thing, it just gives it extra personality. Does that make sense? And so, here's a little bow here. Pretty cool looking. And so, the overall, you gotta say, the upper body, again, this is Scarecrow animated series, and I think McFarlane nailed it. Great looking figure. I'm telling you, the headpiece looks really, really good. Especially the textured feel. You can really feel that texture. I like about that. But in terms of the body itself, I mean, there's only so much you can do, and McFarlane did the best he could to give the character some personality in terms of the design and paint. So, for what it is, though, I think it looks good. Lower body, very, very plain looking, and you can see the pins here, what I mean. So, you can see right here the pins, right? And then the arms don't have that. See that? Pins, no pins. So, there's the legs on here. Very, very skinny legs. Does he do squats? No, he should be in a retirement home because well, that looks horrible. There's the back of the legs. At least this right leg, or his right leg, has that kind of stitching on there, which looks pretty cool. Right? It goes all around his leg, on his thigh. The stitching, I like that. I like it's black. And And his ankles has some kind of thing that's on here, also on ankles. And the feet itself, very animated series type of like feet. And just regular pants, not much to it. And so overall, I gotta say, the figure itself, judging the figure itself, it looks cool, man. It looks similar to Scarecrow from the Batman animated series, and I think McFarlane did a really good job with this figure. And like I said, it brings to life the animated series version of Scarecrow. With that shadowing, it gives a bit more depth to it, if that makes sense. And so to me, I like this figure. I think it's a cool looking figure. So of course, the main question is it really worth it? Should you go out and get this figure? Look, for 30 bucks, honestly, I would say heck no. This whole line is not worth 30 bucks, and this figure is not worth 30 bucks. To me, a good price would have been $25, and here's why. Because, yes, even though the scaling is a lot smaller compared to DC Multiverse, but you do get more accessories. I mean, you do get extra pair of hands and extra headpiece. I know other figures, like the Batman one, comes with multiple hands. I know with Robin, the same thing. So, yeah, you're getting a smaller scaling figure, but you do get more accessories. So it kind of pays off. And plus, this is a Build-A-Figure for Condiment King. So I think for $25, I think to me, $25 would have been a good starting point. $30 is a bit too much. But if it were me, I would just say $20 to me. I think it's a good deal for this figure. $25 is more of like, sure, why not? But $20, I think would have been a better deal for this figure. Apart from the price, though, what I think about this figure, I like the figure. I think it's a cool looking figure. It is small. It really is small. And I'll do a comparison of scaling wise. So be warned, so if you do plan on getting this figure, it is a lot smaller than DC Multiverse. But the figure itself, judging the figure by itself, that's a cool figure, man. I like it. The headpiece is probably the standout. And it comes with an additional headpiece, which I like. So, not bad. So overall, though, what do I give the Scarecrow from the Batman animated series, Target exclusive, Condiment King Build-A-Figure figure? Honestly, I give it a thumbs up, a low thumbs up. The figure itself is not bad. It's just little things that need to work on. One, the actual piece for the stand. I wish it was a little bit bigger so we can fit a regular stand. You can hold them up, because unfortunately, it's pretty thin legs, so it does fall a little bit here and there. The paint is fine to me for this particular figure. Articulation limited here and there, but overall, though, I gotta say, it's not a bad looking figure. So that's why I'm giving it a low thumbs up. It's not amazing or anything, but it's like, you know what? For what it is and for the character, I gotta say, McFarlane did a good job for it, so I can't hate on that. Here we have the Scarecrow from the Infinite Frontier. I believe it's the Entertainment Earth exclusive figure. The Blacklight one exclusive, and of course Target exclusive Scarecrow Batman animated series. I mean, just look at the scaling. It's this is a lot bigger. I mean, the detail, the sculpture design. I don't know, when I compare this one to this one, I'm like, it's cool, and I like the nostalgia of this figure, but man, for the money though, like, I don't know what to say. It's kind of hard. Well, in a way, it's like, damn, I wish this was more to it, but it's not. So, anyway, so here we have Scarecrow from Infinite Frontier next to, well, this particular animated series Scarecrow. Here we have another Scarecrow figure. This is going to be the Joker from the Dark Knight Rises wave, but the Jokerized version, and of course, Scarecrow from the Batman animated series. They're both Target exclusive. They're both $25, but like I said for this one, $25 is more of like, if this was $20, I would say, okay, I can see that working. Because think about it, $25, $25. They're both Build-A-Figure figures, right? Yes, this one comes with, I think, actually, you know what? This one comes with a pair of hands too, but look at the scaling difference. Look at the detail, the design, right? Compared to this, which is $30. So that's why I'm bringing this up, because to me, this is not definitely worth 30 bucks. It's not worth it for 30 bucks. $25 is more like, okay, sure. $20, I think, would have been a better deal, better start. $25, $25. Which one do you prefer? Here we have Damian Wayne from the, I believe it's Infinite Frontier storyline, and of course, Scarecrow. And I brought Damian on here for scaling purposes, so you guys can see that it's different in terms of scaling. So If you have this particular Damien figure, well, there you go. You kind of get an idea of the scaling wise, how tall this figure is compared to DC Multiverse. So again, if you have Damian Wayne, look at that. You can see perfectly what I mean, the scaling wise. Here we have Scarecrow next to Build-A-Figure Flashpoint Cyborg. And I just wanted to show you just the scaling wise again. I'm bringing these figures so you can get an idea how tall this figure is, because it is a lot smaller. So keep that in mind. And you know what? I'll do this better. So hopefully it doesn't fall. So you have Cyborg back there. And then you have Scarecrow. And again, scaling wise, all I'm trying to show you, the scaling wise, it reaches up to his, look at his torso, the crotch area, where that red dot is. You can see perfectly what I mean. And again, I wanted to show you guys just how tall Scarecrow is. In terms of scaling wise, again, it's going to be Swamp Thing, Mega Fig. This is going to be the Glow in the Dark edition, Amazon exclusive. And of course, the Scarecrow one. Yeah, these are a lot smaller, so keep that in mind. That's why I said about the pricing. $30 is too much. $25 is like, sure. To me, $20 would have been a good starting point. $20 is like, okay, fine, because you do get the better Build-A-Figure figure and some accessories, but I just don't think it's worth the $30. I'm sorry. If I offend anyone, you know what, I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real, and I definitely don't think these are worth $30. Now here's everything's included in this particular figure, and the question is, am I going to continue with it or not, with this line? I will continue with it only if I get the items on sale. As I mentioned, $30, no way. $25 is like, okay, that's retail regular. $20 for me, I think that's a way better deal. You do get a smaller figure, you do get a Build-A-Figure, but I just don't think they're really worth it. $30. Definitely not worth $30. $24 to me is more of like, sure, it's like right in like, not the greatest deal, but it's fine. To me, $20 would have been a better starting point for this particular figure, because man, the scaling on this figure is small, really, really small, but it is very cartoony and animated, so I do like that because of the nostalgia factor. But I'm bringing this up and I'm discussing this now towards the end of the video, so just to kind of let you guys know, don't get caught up in the whole nostalgia. Don't be like, okay, it reminds me of my childhood, I'm going to buy it. Don't be tricked into that. Always make, smart decisions, I guess you can say. And so, to me, again, I'm not hating on this line. I like the line. I like what McFarlane is doing. But for $30, no way. This is definitely not worth $30. To me, a good, fair, let me clarify. A fair price, $25. To me, a good price would have been $20. Smaller in size, but you get some cool accessories, especially with like Batman and Robin. I've seen they have like multiple hands, so I think for $20, I think it's a better deal for it. $30, no. $25, if you're really desperate, you really want to get one before they're gone type of thing, sure. $20 to me would have been a good starting point. And so, that's my honest opinion, $20 for this whole figure. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me this figure? Do you plan to purchase this figure? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. This includes an overview of Scarecrow from the Batman animated series, the Target exclusive, and on to the next one.